Vice President Kamala Harris is struggling to gain the support from some Arab American voters in the battleground state of Michigan. Many have expressed frustration over how the Biden administration has handled the war in Gaza. Our Ed O'Keefe spoke with members of the Arab and Muslim community there.
Here in Michigan and across the country, concerns with the economy, inflation, access to abortion rights, and the future of democracy, obviously top of mind concerns. But in this state, there's a specific group of people concerned about a far more urgent life or death issue, the war in the Middle East. There are hundreds of thousands of Arab or Muslim American voters in this state who live mostly in and around Dearborn and Detroit. And we spent some time with some of them recently who are quite upset about what's going on in the Middle East, quite upset with Vice President Harris for her support of Israel, and personally affected by the violence. Take a listen. Who here knows someone who has been killed in the last year in Gaza or Lebanon? And who here has a neighbor or friend who's had relatives killed in Gaza or Lebanon?
I don't think people understand how dehumanizing and demoralizing this experience has been for us, and that we're expected to be these upstanding, healthy, productive members of the society, which we are gladly. But you can't expect us to continue down that trajectory and expect us to be healthy, functioning members of this country while you utilize our tax dollars to destabilize our homelands and murder our family members. And I don't think that people understand how much that greatly affects the way that we vote.
Have any of you been contacted by her campaign, either with a text or a door knock or an email?
Every 15 minutes.
Do you text back stop?
No, I don't text back stop. I just ask them, can you please clarify Kamala Harris's, every single text I get, I reply with, can you please clarify Kamala Harris's stance on the genocide taking place in the Middle East? I don't get a reply back, but that's my reply to every single text I get.
How about you?
No, I've not received anything.
How about you? You must.
Yeah, I've received texts as well, and I always respond, and like I was saying, I never get a response.
Of those 4 voters we spoke to, they told us they voted for President Biden 4 years ago. None of them is planning to vote for Vice President Harris because they say her support for this war, for genocide, is reason enough to not support her. The Harris campaign knows they have a real political problem here, quite a cute one, in a community where a few 100,000 votes helped President Biden win 4 years ago, and there are hundreds of thousands of votes potentially being withheld or being cast for a third-party candidate. We spoke with a Harris campaign surrogate here in the Dearborn and Detroit area who shared how it is he's trying to convince them to vote otherwise.
I was one of the uncommitted for Joe Biden. And the minute they made the transition, when Joe Biden stepped down and Kamala Harris stepped up, I pivoted and I put my support behind Kamala Harris. That was a pivotal moment because we're going to have a different president come January. And it's not going to be Joe Biden, and it could be Donald Trump again, or it could be a new president in Kamala Harris. And I believe that this was a pivotal moment to shift. It's a new opportunity to give us hope for something different than what we're dealing with right now. And yes, it was a critical moment, and that's why I put my full support behind Kamala Harris.
So while there's a lot of focus here in Michigan on the economy, inflation, access to abortion, and other top-of-mind concerns, a reminder that there is a very specific group of people here quite concerned with what's going on with the war in the Middle East, and for them, it's been a matter of life or death, and a big reason why they won't be voting for Vice President Harris. Lindsay?
Ed O'Keefe, thank you.